Good afternoon, everyone. I'm holding my phone a little bit differently because I'm in my wife's car, and I'm actually going to explain that in a second as I get out of camera view. Do you trust God in all things? Now, I made a video about this before, about do you trust God in everything or only things that you're comfortable with? And I've always believed that you should trust God in everything. If you do not trust God in all things, then how can you trust God at all? It's all or nothing. So recently something has happened, and when I say recently, I mean today, in the last week. My wife and I have been looking for a home, a new house to move the children to. Nothing fancy because we're not rich folk. And every door was being blocked. Every door was being closed. In every situation. And we were thinking to ourselves, well, that is just weird. Well, and we always thought, well, God will open up the door wherever it may be. We pray, God, wherever you want us to be, we'll be, no matter where it is. We trust you, and you'll open the doors that have to be open. So we finally decided not to buy a house, and we decided to pay off my wife's car. I'm like, you know what? Let's be responsible. We teach our children not to be in debt. Well, then let's prove it. You know, you can preach all you want. I talk about people who talk a lot and preach but never follow their own advice. And we were in that situation. I'm thinking, well, what am I doing? Let's follow our own advice. So we're going to pull ourselves out of debt on a couple of items that we have. The car obviously being one of them. We're in a situation, let's pay it off. Then my truck has an issue. Just bought the truck not too long ago. And it turns out it could have been something incredibly serious. I got a phone call saying you might end up needing an engine, and all said and done, you could be looking at $6,000. Now I'm thinking to myself, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, all right, this is good. This is nice. So what are you going to do? You got to fix the problem, right? You got to figure this out. And luckily we had money saved up. And that's another thing about saving, having that emergency fund if you can pull it off. Excuse my voice today. My voice is a little off. So we looked at the situation, and we prayed, and we said, you know what, God, whatever it may be, you know, whatever, you know, we obviously pray that this will be something a little simpler. If it's more, it's more, but we trust in God. Now, we didn't stop trusting, and God is amazing because we get a call back, and it's going to cost me about $800. So I went from possibly a $6,000 situation to it could be just $800. Now, I don't say just could be $800, and that's nothing, because that's a lot of money for anybody, even us. But we are fortunate enough to be in a situation that God had provided and put us in a situation where we're able to pull it off. So this is what the devil does. The devil will say to you, as a Christian, hey, if God loves you, why did he block you from buying that house? Hey, if God loved you, why did he stop you from paying off your car? Hey, if God loved you, why did he ruin your truck like that and make you have to pay maybe $6,000? What kind of God is that? My answer to you is, that's a phenomenal God. Because you know what? We were never promised, as born-again Christians, a perfect life. We were never promised riches here on earth. We were never promised that every day would be simple, that we wouldn't sometimes have to be paycheck to paycheck. So I'm happy that God has kept his promise. God has kept his promise. He says, you know what? Times are going to be difficult sometimes. Life ain't going to be easy. But trust in me. And I will make sure you are delivered from any sort of harm. And we are. We are. And I am amazingly blessed. So don't let the devil come in and create that depression. Because what happens? Husbands and wives that are not on the same page, now there's an argument about money. Well, how are we going to pay things off? And now the kids feel that pressure. And now your anger seeps onto them, and they're angry. Now you're not going to church, because why would you go to church to a God that didn't help you? That's what the devil does. So I will remain the way I always have been. I will trust God in all things, because today is a perfect proof of why God is great. God is great. Say that to yourself every day, because you really should. Because your life could be a whole lot worse than it actually is. I'm glad that I'm only complaining about this. Do you realize I only have to complain about fixing a truck? There are families who have to complain about putting food on the table. So don't ever think that your life is so terrible and that you have it worse than somebody else. Yes, things might look bad, but they're really not. See, God knew I was going to have to fix this truck. God had this plan. God has a bigger plan. If you trust in God, you give everything to God. He has a plan for you, and just follow that plan and you're going to be all right. It ain't always going to be easy. It's not all going to be strawberry cake. That's my favorite cake when I eat it. All those things are not going to be smooth sailing, so to speak. I'm looking at the time on my video. I don't want to make this too long. But honestly, trust in God. I'm telling you right now, God has a plan. Don't let the devil come in and make you question, why is God making this happen to me? You got this because God's got you. Thank you for watching this video. God bless. I love you. Have a fantastic day.